In recent months, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has made no attempt to hide his frustration with the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Uche Secondus. Wike has blamed Secondus for allowing the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, to poach 3 state governors who were elected on the platform of the PDP and recently went as far as calling him a liar. Dissatisfied with the state of affairs in the party, the Rivers governor is said to be spearheading a campaign to oust the national chairman before the end of his tenure. Although the PDP is expected to hold its national convention in December, when Secondus and other national executives of the party will be eligible for re-election, Wike is believed to be rallying the support of state party chairmen to remove the leadership of the PDP. To discuss the brewing crisis in Nigeria's main opposition party and how this could affect its chances of supplanting the APC in 2023. We are now being joined from Abuja by Umar Sani, a chieftain of the PDP and former media aide to former Vice President Namadi Sambo. Welcome to the show, Umar Sani the cat.
I was almost about to say about you didn't add the cat. You didn't add the cat because that's how you call me.
It's good to see you again. Well, I'm sure you listen to my...
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Very quickly, what really is the problem in the People's Democratic Party? And why is it that all of a sudden Governor Wike and the chairman of the party, Uche Secondus, are now, if we may use that phrase, at daggers drawn?
Well, generally, there is not much of a problem. You know, our national convention, as you rightly pointed out, is coming up in December. And these are some of the jostlings that you normally have when conventions come up and divergent interests, you know, begin to fight for supremacy of the party. So we normally look at it as ambition, you know, clashing with interest. So when ambition clashes with interest, you find people fighting, even people who are of the same camp or people of the same ideology. They are fighting because someone somewhere wants something to be done in a certain way, and the other person does not see it as the proper way to do it. So you normally have issues. However, one cannot say that Governor Wike is not a financier of the party. He is a very strong financier of the party. He is, in fact, a rock within the party. But he cannot be a dictator in the party. The party is a democratic party, and a democratic party must operate in a democratic manner. And I think Secondus is moving the party away from impunity and imposition to a democratic party, which he has promised Nigerians. He has promised Nigerians that he has apologized to Nigerians. He has promised Nigerians that the party would change its focus, it would change its direction, and by the grace of God, the party is moving towards that direction. Now, having come up with the issue of losing party members, 3 governors, you will not. I hope you will remember, Dr. Abati, that the PDP also gained 3 governors from the APC. Governor Tambuwal was formerly from the APC. Governor Otom was also from the APC, and the governor of Edo State was also from the APC. So these are periods for alignments and realignments. Even within the APC, there are rumblings here and there, and we are expecting to gather more people coming back to us. So it's an ongoing thing. It's really not an issue, but you know, the issue of Governor Wike and Secondus is an isolation within the party. It is not a generalized thing. It is the party is not united that Secondus must go. It is only Wike that is making all these efforts to ensure that he unseats Secondus because he wants Secondus to do certain things which are improper. And he will not forgive Secondus because Secondus insists on transparency. At the last national convention, which was held in Port Harcourt, the PDP held one of the most credible conventions in which the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar emerged as the candidate of the party. Now, at that convention, Governor Wike was supporting Governor Tambuwal. And so because Governor Tambuwal came second and did not win the primaries, he felt that there should have been some manipulation to ensure that Governor Tambuwal becomes the governor. And so because that didn't happen, it means it is Secondus that is responsible. And so the need to deal with him is what he is out to achieve now.
Well, let me just get some clarification. Are you saying that Governor Wike of Rivers State is the problem of the PDP at the moment?
Yeah, I'm saying two things. I'm saying he's a strong pillar of the PDP, and I'm saying he is the one causing the problem at the moment. Not the problem of the PDP, but causing this problem at the moment. If he stops doing it, there will be no problem. The PDP will have no problem. So he is the one engineering the problem, causing the problem, trying to ensure that he divides the house even before the convention, because ambition is clashing with interest.
Well, some of the things the governor has said is that under the leadership of Mr. Uche Secondus, or Prince Uche Secondus, the party has lost some members. There seems to be no direction, and it simply cannot go into the 2023 elections and hope to win under the leadership of Prince Uche Secondus, and things must change.
Well, I think Governor Wike is a little bit circumspect in his speech, even though he was very, very clear, to have accused the whole National Working Committee of incompetence, being liars, and so forth and so on. However, coming to the main issue, if you take a holistic look at the performance of Secondus, he is the first national chairman that we have ever had who had operated as the chairman of the party in an opposition and in an election. And now, if you take the totality of the elections which Secondus has supervised, the PDP would have been having about 20 states by now. Because one, we lost Kano due to the abracadabra of the APC. We lost Oshun due to the abracadabra of the APC because we won them. We won Imo, but the number 4 now became the number 1. And of course, in Ekiti State, was taken away from us by force. So it is generally not the problem of Secondus. The party had performed creditably well in all the elections, and in every state, the party had regained its popularity. If you are conversant with the party immediately after the APC came into power, the party, especially in the north, was despised. Nobody wants to vote for the party. Now the party is gaining ground everywhere. There is just an election recently in Sabangari local government in Kaduna State, where the party won the State House of Assembly election. The position was formerly occupied by an APC person who was dismissed from the party, from APC, and then a re-election was ordered, and the PDP won. So the PDP is making inroads and getting stronger and stronger by the day. I don't know what Governor Wike means that there has to be a change from the winning ways of the party, or a change because some governors left the party. Is it the problem? Is it the Secondus fault that the governor of Cross River State left the party, or is it Secondus' fault that the governor of Ebonyi State left the party, or is it truly Secondus' fault that the governor of Zamfara State left the party? If you take an X-ray of all their reasons, the governor of Cross River blamed Wike, the governor of Ebonyi blamed Wike, and even the governor of Zamfara, he fell short of calling him because he said the governors have abandoned him, and that when Otom had problem, Governor Wike gave him 200 million. When Governor Tambuwal had an issue that a market in Sokoto State got burnt, he gave him 500 million. But when it came to Zamfara State, people were being killed, you know, and nothing nobody supported him. It was after he made that noise that the whole PDP governors met and then collected the sum of 150 million and gave to him. So you can see that more or less, it is his actions that are negatively affecting our party. And because his actions are negatively affecting our party, he is now trying to, you know, lump the blame on the National Working Committee and say they are the ones that are incompetent. If you make unguided utterances, you do certain actions that are contrary to you know, the progress and unity of the party, how do you expect the party to remain united?
Okay.
So Governor Wike has, for instance, lambasted the BOT. He has lambasted the elders of the party. He has threatened the party that if the party doesn't take the national convention to Port Harcourt, he will deal with the party. He has done so many things against the party. So how do you think, how will you say that Governor Wike, you know, has issues with Secondus? He has issues with the party. He has issues with Secondus, and the issues are best known to him because we believe that it has to do with ambition,
all right,
which is clashing with Secondus' style of leadership.
Mr. Sani, we'll go on a quick break now, I understand, and we'll come back and get a chance to ask you some more questions. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We still have Umar Sani, a chieftain of the PDP, former media aide, ex-vice president Namadi Sambo. So 2 questions. I'd like to ask, apart from this Wike's Secondus debacle, there are other fires in the PDP across board. I mean, there's even the fire between former Governor Fayose and Seyi Makinde, which they said has been settled, but there are feelers that Governor Fayose is not still happy. Former Governor Fayose is not still happy about what is happening. And secondly, you said Wike is not helping everybody. I mean, what moral right? Because I'm even shocked to the high heavens, and I think it should be looked at critically, that Governor Wike has finally become the CBN, the central bank of PDP, if there's anything possible. Because he said he gave somebody 500 million, gave another person 200 million, gave another person 100 million. Is it Governor Wike's right, I mean, to be using people's money to fund other governors and other states, or did he have those monies before? Because I'm not sure there's any declaration that says he has to use any money or any of his resource to fund other people. So I'm even shocked about politics in Nigeria. And I'm sure millions of Nigerians watching that are shocked when they're hearing the humongous amount that the governor, that his own state is reeling from unemployment, has one of the highest unemployment rates in the state, is dishing out, you know, it's a Father Christmas gesture to other governors because they are fellow PDP governors. What do you have to say about all of this?
Well, I am not a good judge of what Wike does with the River State money. I think it is best left to the River State people to complain that he is not using their money judiciously. However, I think the Rivers people are happy with him because they even nicknamed him they nicknamed him Mr. Project, which means they are satisfied with the project he is dishing out in River State. However, the monies he has been giving out, whether rightly or wrongly, at least he has been assisting. Whether it is within his right to do it or not, that the State Assembly of that state should question the rationale and why he has been doing it, because it is public money. It is not for me or any other person to begin to interfere in the affairs of River State, because each government, each tier of government has its own responsibilities and checks and balances, you know, that helps to carry it along. And then, of course, coming to the issue of Governor Fayose and Governor Makinde, generally the party is a little bit, you know, both of them are very credible members of the party. They are members of the party that have helped the party in various ways. Now, the clash had to do with, you know, the zonal congresses and so forth and so on. These are issues that normally come up. And who is in charge of Southwest and who is not in charge of Southwest and so forth and so on. And the party cannot say this man is in charge. A governor is a governor. A governor takes charge of certain things. A party leader also takes charge of certain things. So these are issues that the party is, dialoguing with them, and they are finding ways to resolve it permanently. And I'm sure that Governor Fayose and Governor Makinde will work for the interest of the party in time to come, because we have forthcoming elections in Osun, in Ekiti, and of course in Anambra. So all the governors will work together to ensure that the PDP comes out stronger and smoking.
Well, you said the PDP will come out stronger and smoking, but many Nigerians will be surprised that there's still a lot of crisis, considering the fact that earlier in the year, a reconciliation committee was set up, led by former Senate President Senator Bukola Saraki. And that reconciliation committee went around the country. And now, many months later, we're still having these reports about infighting, particularly at the leadership level. Is the PDP really focusing on a strategy to win future elections, not just the off-cycle elections, but also the 2023 general elections, especially as the ruling party has shown that it wants to remain in power, whether the PDP likes it or not?
Well, we are, Dr. Abati, we are making efforts. And, all these efforts, the reason why people are not really grasping the effort. If somebody came from 11 states, you moved it to 16. And you could have even moved it to 20, if not for the interjection of the ruling party, bringing inconclusiveness to all the elections, so that they will get the chance to manipulate it. Otherwise, the PDP will have been having 20 states by now. However, the presidential election, which is the center, is the issue. And by the grace of God, the PDP this time will get it right and get the presidency in 2023. And then that is when the efforts of the National Working Committee will be really appreciated. I think they are marvelous people working so hard for the party to succeed. I think they are not noisemakers. They are result-oriented people who really want to achieve results. They are not like the APC. They had a national chairman who was able to make all the noise, and yet the achievements were so low. We were almost collecting every state from him. So I think the PDP National Working Committee should be given, there is no any, I'm sure you have not had any rumbling anywhere, except, of course, between the Wike and the Secondus rumblings. Otherwise, there is no any person coming out to say the National Working Committee, they are not performing, they have not performed, and their performance is below expectation. I think, given the chance, this is the first National Working Committee we had that was in an opposition. And in an opposition, they were able to gain so many states. So if they are from an opposition angle and they are able to gain so many states, then and now that the APC is getting weaker and weaker by the day due to also internal fighting, the PDP has a clear chance in 2023 to showcase itself. And then in 2023, we are hoping that by the grace of God, the PDP will get the center.
No, but I also asked you about the Bukola Saraki Reconciliation Committee. And you know that, that committee, yes, went around the country, but at other levels, there's division within the party. Will you say that the Bukola Saraki Reconciliation Committee has not delivered on its assignment?
Well, the Bukola Saraki Reconciliation Committee is, like the name implies, a reconciliation committee. It has no mandate to do any other thing than to try to reconcile. Now, it is the willingness of the people to reconcile, and the people to be able to accept a give and take situation. Now, most people want to hang on to their own position because they believe that that position favors them. And when Saraki goes and tries to make peace and tries to allow status quo to be maintained. And when status quo is maintained, people then naturally will not accept. So if really there is a strong reconciliation, the party will have to look at some of the previous congresses and where some complaints are arising from, and then make amendments, and then let us move on.
Mr. Sani, I need you to be as brief as you can. Two quick questions here. Speculations are rife that the PDP may not have seen the last of defections from its fold. There are hints from even governors like Governor Dave Umahi, who recently defected. He says there's more to come. What are your thoughts? Secondly, former INEC boss, Professor Tairu Jega, has given a scathing remark about your party and the ruling party. He says the two leading parties are synonymous with corruption and should not be voted by Nigerians again in 2023.
Well, let me start with the first question. If you take himself, his case, for instance, Dave Umahi was not the anointed candidate of the former governor Elechi. He was, Elechi wanted somebody else. But the PDP in the state rallied around Umahi, and Umahi got the ticket, even against Elechi's, the sitting governor's discontent. And the sitting governor had to even defect to another party to try to bring in somebody else. But yet, he was swimming against the tide, because Ebonyi is PDP and PDP is Ebonyi. It is not a governor that makes the state turn to another party. It doesn't work that way. As strong as Akpabio is in Akwa Ibom State, he couldn't change the tide, because PDP, Akwa Ibom is PDP and PDP is Akwa Ibom. Now, even coming to Cross River is PDP and PDP is Cross River. I don't see the defection of the governor as having any effect. And let me also state clearly that we are also expecting more defections from the APC, because their conventions will now clearly show which side they belong to, and then those people who are aggrieved will come back to our party. So it's like I said, it's an issue of alignment and realignment. And because it's an issue of alignment and realignment, it's a continuous process on both sides, and both sides are likely to make gains. And so it's not a one party thing. Then, coming to the second question, please, can you remind me?
Tairu Jega, the former INEC boss, saying that your party is synonymous with corruption and Nigerians should not vote for your party or the leading party at the moment come 2023.
I think Professor Tairu Jega is not in the mold of the people who should be criticizing. He was an umpire, and he was a biased umpire. And as a biased umpire, he cannot come now and begin to be a moderator of who is competent and who is not competent. I believe that Professor Jega himself was the one who modeled the democracy and made it look as bad as it is now. If he had done the right thing, all these things that are happening would not have happened. But he is now trying to salvage his name, trying to make, to come into national reckoning and national limelight. And insisting that he has joined PRP. Whichever party he has joined and whatever he has done, he cannot, be taken seriously by Nigerians, because he was a very partial umpire. Well, on that note, he set the pace for INEC to be partial.
On that note, we'd like to thank you very much, Umar Sani, for joining us on the morning show. Thank you very much indeed.